I left when she looked me in the eyes and said, "He makes me feel alive." I didn't protest. I didn't demand clarity. I didn't remind her of everything we had built together. I just stood there, inhaled deeply, and said, "Then I truly hope he gives you everything you're searching for." And I turned around and walked out. Not because I was numb, not because I stopped caring, but because pleading with someone to stay after they've already envisioned a future without you is the slowest, most excruciating form of self-destruction. If you've ever been replaced by someone who only saw the outer layer of the person you helped grow, you'll understand. And if these words echo your own heartbreak, leave a comment. You're not alone in this. Truly, you're not. My name is Daniel, and for nearly 6 years, I loved a woman named Brooke. Our story began quietly, introduced through a mutual friend at a laid-back dinner party. There were light laughs over slices of greasy pizza, and what started out casual turned into something that felt like home. She had this warmth, this impulsive sparkle in her. I was the anchor, steady, quiet, the one who remembered to lock up, turn off the stove, pay the rent on time. We didn't work because life was smooth. We worked because we both showed up day after day. Until one day she stopped. It all shifted when she landed a new position, a lead in marketing at a rising tech startup. The hours got longer. New colleagues, new demands. Business trips bled into weekends. And then there was someone else. Jason. At first, he was just her boss. At least, that's how she framed it. But then, something in her voice shifted when she said his name. It got lighter, brighter, like she was saying it more for herself than for me. I gently asked her about him once. She brushed it off with a smile, calling me paranoid. Said she was simply thrilled about this new stage of her life. But she stopped reaching for my hand during drives. Stopped waiting up for me at night. Stopped seeing me. And then one evening, at the kitchen table we found together at that little thrift shop, she looked across at me and delivered a line I'll never forget. "He makes me feel alive." Like I had been her slow death. Like I'd been her prison, not her refuge. I didn't argue. Didn't fall apart. I just studied her face, the face I once dreamed beside, and realized I had already lost her. So I left. Quietly. No dramatic outbursts. Just me, a backpack, and what was left of my self-respect. That first week, I barely closed my eyes. I crashed at a cheap motel nearly an hour outside the city, lying on a lumpy mattress, staring at water-stained ceilings and retracing every step I thought I'd misstepped. People reached out, friends, concerned, checking in. I ignored them. Even my mother called. I told her I was buried in work. I couldn't say it aloud yet. She picked someone else. Eventually, I rented a small apartment a couple towns over. Plain walls, one bedroom, a used coffee table, and a version of myself I didn't quite recognize anymore. I took a job at a neighborhood hardware store. Told the owner I just needed something to stay busy. He didn't pry. He'd seen the kind of quiet wreckage I carried before. Nights were the hardest. Not because I longed for Brooke, but because I missed the idea of her. The version I had constructed in my mind. Loyal, unwavering, safe. The kind of person who would choose us even on the stormy days. And that's the cruel part no one talks about. You don't mourn the person. You mourn the version of them that never actually existed. I didn't call. Didn't stalk her social media. Didn't ask our shared friends how she was. I erased her number. Not out of hatred, but because I feared what hearing her voice might undo in me. By month 6, my breathing had steadied. I painted my own walls. Adopted a rescue dog, Penny. She didn't fix anything, but she gave me a reason to come home. Month 9, I went on a casual coffee date. It didn't lead anywhere, but I didn't talk about Brooke, and that felt like progress. By month 11, hearing her name didn't punch me in the chest. I was mending. Quietly. Steadily. Then she reappeared. It was a Thursday. I'd just returned from work, arms full of groceries, clothes coated in sawdust and sweat. I was unlocking my door when I heard a voice I hadn't heard in almost a year. "Daniel." I turned around. There she was, Brooke. She looked the same, yet smaller. Not physically. Emotionally. Like someone who had been worn down by her own decisions. Her eyes were swollen. She was holding a letter. I didn't speak. Just let the silence sit. She took a tentative step forward. I've been trying to find you. I nodded. Well, here I am. She extended the envelope. It's everything I should have said. Everything I never told you before I destroyed it all. I leaned against the doorway. Silent. Still. She began to cry. I lied about Jason and about how I felt. I thought I needed more. But that more turned out to be hollow. He didn't want me. Not truly. Just the chase. And the second things got real, he vanished. She wiped at her tears. I broke what we had. I know that. I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know, the only person who ever truly made me feel alive was you. And I destroyed it. For a heartbeat, I felt that old ache, the part of me that once would have stepped aside, invited her in, made tea, tried again. But that version of me, he was gone. I looked at her, this woman I once imagined forever with, and softly said, You didn't destroy us, Brooke. You destroyed you. She lowered her gaze. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded. I hope you heal. I genuinely do. But I'm not yours anymore. She broke down again. And I didn't move. That wasn't my place anymore. She left the same way I had, almost a year before, quietly, with tears and regret. I stepped inside, dropped the groceries, and collapsed onto the floor beside Penny. My chest ached, not because I wanted her back, but because the last thread between us had finally snapped. And in its place, there was only silence. And peace. If someone ever tells you they found more outside of what you built together, let them. Don't run after them. Don't beg. Just walk away. Because with time, if you're lucky, you'll find something far greater than closure. You'll find yourself.